So yeah, I'm Vicky from Honey Financial Solutions. I am a mortgage and protection insurance advisor. Set up Honey Financial Solutions in 2020. I had previously been a self-employed mortgage advisor for about 4 years prior to that. So I set it up purely to help people who are going through life changes, and then hopefully the customer stays with me for life. So from first time buyers to expanding families and then to downsizing. So yeah, this is my family. So I've got a daughter 19, and that's who Honey Financial Solutions named after, because she's called Honey. I don't think she appreciated it when she was a kid, but she's a bit more. She's all right with it now. My younger daughter is Maisie, and that's my husband as well. And then 2 dogs. So yeah, they're all part of the family as well. So why mortgages? I had never been in financial services. I gave up my career when I had my kids. So that was a long time ago. Then I think they were about 8 and 10, decided I needed to really think about another career. And when I gave up my career, our income halved. So I spent a lot of time trying to save money. Spent a lot of time looking at Martin Lewis's things and everything. He can be a bit controversial in the financial world, but it really helped me out when we literally have the income. So from that, I found that I was helping other people save money as well, because I'd looked at how I could do it, and then I was helping other people. So one of the reasons why I went into mortgages, because, in theory, it'll be the biggest expense of your life. Since I've become a mortgage advisor, I've found that might not be the case with the loans that I've seen that people have got and everything. But I just wanted to make a difference. I wanted to put people's finances in their own pocket rather than the big firms, so making sure that they got the right mortgages. I wanted to be self-employed because I wanted to fit around the family. And then I wanted to offer something different. So my experience with mortgage advisors were, they could be a bit judgmental, a bit condescending, a bit, like they know better. And I didn't want that. I wanted to be a voice that they could speak to and, be quite honest, because you need to be honest when you're sorting out the mortgages. And I wanted to provide great customer service. So I am an independent mortgage advisor. I have access to the majority of the lenders. There are some that I haven't got access to, but I think there's about one that I can think off the top of my head, which that will be coming on board very soon. So I specialise in helping first-time buyers and those going through separation or divorce. They're quite similar customers in a way, for feeling there's a lot of emotion around first-time buyers, and then obviously on the separation and divorce, different emotions. But I do find that both groups of clients need quite a bit of guidance, a bit of emotional support, and at the end of it, I really feel I've made a difference to somebody. You feel appreciated. So on the first time buyer side, I provide them a guide for them to work through. I do take the time to talk to them about the house buying process, guide them through the potential risks if anything goes wrong, and I provide an annual review as well. Same on the those that are separating and going through divorce. I get a really good understanding of their situation and what they want their outcomes to be. Might not necessarily be able to do that. So I spoke to somebody yesterday, and she is going through a divorce. It's not very they're not being helpful to each other. There's a bit of arguing there and everything. She really wants to keep the house. I'm not sure if she can. So what I've done, I've put her in touch with a divorce coach as well, because sometimes people get wrapped up in that they need the house or they need to sell it, but financially it doesn't work out, and that's because there's a lot of emotion wrapped around it. From that, I'm going to be providing her with a mortgage capacity report. So this can be used in court. So it just says what somebody's affordability is. And then again, I'll guide them through the potential risks of owning the house in their own name and what things can go wrong. And I provide annual reviews there as well. So as I said, there is a lot of emotion. It can be an emotional roller coaster. I'm there to try and reduce the hassle and stress. I can't say I can get rid of it because I can't, but I try to reduce it as much as possible and provide the solutions if anything does go wrong. And then I always have this. Basically, this is what I feel like sometimes. I can be a solicitor, accountant, estate agent, a letting agent, a marriage guidance counsellor, and a psychologist who arranges the occasional mortgage. So an example of first-time buyers is one, I think I started working with them summer last year. So I provided them initially with the affordability. They were then able to go out and find a property that was at the right price for them with the deposit that they had. Once they'd found the property, it was under a type of sale called modern auction. It's not your traditional auction, it's a bit of an in-between. So the reason for that was the family was selling the home on behalf of grandparents. One had passed away and one was in a home, so they wanted the sale to go through as fast as possible. So that's why they went down the modern auction route. There's a lot of pros and cons with that. So I discussed that with them and they decided not to pay a deposit up front, which is kind of what a modern auction is about. But with help, we managed to negotiate that they didn't have to pay it up front. They just didn't want to risk losing 10 grand, basically. From that, I had to provide a lot of information and emotional support. Again, that was because the estate agent was really pushy, very inconsiderate and really unhelpful. It took 5 months to complete from the first viewing, so it wasn't too bad, but it really, it'd have been ideal if it had been a lot less than that. An example of a client going through divorce. So a client came to me, she'd separated from her husband, he'd moved out, she wanted to keep the family home. The husband wanted some money out of the property so he could buy his own home. But then what we found out, which I didn't realise at the beginning, was that the home was only in his name, not in her name. So that would be classed as her purchasing the home rather than a remortgage, which with her circumstances, it made it more difficult. But I did manage to find a lender that would allow it as a remortgage, but they had to have a financial order in place to be able to class it as a remortgage. But then they decided to get back together. So that was absolutely fine, but I just said to her, please, if you're getting back together, go on the deeds of the house, and she did. And then a year later, she came back and she was like, right, I am getting divorced now. So I was really, it was really easy for me to get her a remortgage at that point. So in a way, it did work out. I don't know if she planned that or not, but yeah, it did work out in the end. So as part of when I am doing mortgages, mortgages, protection insurance and estate planning go hand in hand. I can't look at a mortgage without looking at all the other aspects. So from protecting the most important asset, which is you, who bring the income into the household that pays for everything else, that pays for the mortgages, the life insurance. So I talked to them about protecting themselves, which is the income protection side and the critical illness cover. So basically, if they became ill or they have an accident, they'll still have some income. Being able to claim, what some people don't realise is if you were incapacitated, so say if you had an accident and you're in a coma and you're incapacitated, but you had income protection, who's going to claim on that policy on your behalf? If there isn't a power of attorney in place, it needs to go through to the court of protection, which can be a lengthy and costly process. So again, if I'm setting up the income protection or critical illness, I'll talk to them about getting the power of attorneys in place so that somebody can claim it on their behalf. So then I also talk about protecting the family. If you're not around anymore. So that's the life cover, which is like a lump sum payment, family income benefit, which is a monthly payment there, and then talking about the will and the power of attorney again. And then I talk about protecting the home and the assets. So that's where it's your home insurance, your landlord's insurance again, will and lasting power of attorney. So you can see they all interact with each other. The good thing about insurance, which some people don't realise, so you can get additional benefits and they can actually be free, or you might have to pay, like, say, I think it's £3 with Aviva, where you can get worldwide medical services on there. So yeah, I'm not going to go through each of them, but yeah, you can get critical illness cover for children, GPs access 24/7. So who can get a doctor's appointments these days? It's really, it can be really hard. So that is really beneficial that you can access that. You don't have to pay for it. It comes with the insurance. Not all providers offer that, but when I'm having the conversation with the client, I'll make sure that I ask them what is important to them about the additional benefits and try and line them up with the right provider. So working with trusted partners. So these are who I work with at the moment, and I would be grateful for introductions to people in these fields. So solicitors, stroke conveyancers, and I work with a few family law solicitors, estate agents, independent financial advisors, estate planners. So yeah, I don't do the wills or the power of attorney myself, but I've got connections who do those. Specialist protection advisors, accountants, and property sources. And then that's it. So yeah, if anybody's got any questions, let me know.
Interesting what you say, Vicky, about feeling like you're a social worker sometimes, because in my game in business turnaround and insolvency, that also is strongly the case. But just on the point of, should we say, adverse lending, if somebody has got a poor financial record or history of a formal business failure or bankruptcy in the past, is there any appetite in the lending market to help them at the moment, or is that still really tight?
It is tight. There are lenders out there, so I mean, they'll pay more on interest rates if somebody will consider it. There is somebody that has been discharged from an IVA about Christmas time, but it just depends on their circumstances because they haven't got a big enough deposit to be able to go with the lender that will consider them as a discharged IVA. A lot of the lenders want you to be these are the high street lenders, so like HSBC and Nationwide, they want somebody to be discharged for at least 6 years from bankruptcy or IVA. But there are lenders, specialist lenders out there that do take on adverse, and they want to take on adverse because that's their clients, they're who they're after. So like with car insurance, you've got different ones who specialise in older drivers, younger drivers and everything. It's the same with mortgages. There are specialist ones that will deal with them, yeah.
Thank you.
Vicky, it's Mike Sheath here from Kappa. I'm
Hiya.
very much in. Hi there. Great presentation. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
I'm not sure I can help you. I mean, I'm in the property and commercial property, so I don't really get involved in mortgages per se. My sort of world is that of large estates, mainly retail, catering, hospitality, and so forth. But my last 30 or 40 years, I've mixed with all of the estate agents, both nationals and locals. And I just wonder how good your database is for agents, because I'd have thought, quite a strong sort of, amount of your work or potential work would come from the property professionals. So do you know most of the agents at all?
I don't actually. So over the years, I've found that I prefer working with people ahead of time. So trying to get, 2 or 3 years ahead. So we'll look at the credit file and we'll look at their income and everything, and I'll help them see where it is. So I have got connections, but not as in they'll pass me any clients over at the moment. I've got one, but she tends to work more with auction properties and everything. But yeah, that's just the way it's been over the years. So I do know a few, but it's not through like good connections, if you know what I mean, where we pass business over to each other.
I mean, they're easy to get hold of, these lists of agents, and good agents as well. Whereabouts are you based?
I'm in South Yorkshire, so I'm in between Rotherham and Barnsley.
I mean, I do know a lot of the agents in the sort of Leeds, well, throughout Yorkshire, and the Lancs. I mean, you may know some of them, but I'd be very happy to share my list, or I mean, if you've got some sort of flyer or sort of presentation pack or deck, or do you just literally phone these people up?
I haven't got a presentation pack, but I could put one together easily with what I've done and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, if there was something short and sweet and punchy, then I mean, I know a lot of the guys. I've just been around a long time, so I very easily, and it wouldn't take long. It's mud against the wall, isn't it? You want a lot of it to stick. So
yeah,
I could give you, some of the agents that I think would probably at least give you the time of day.
Oh, I'd be really grateful for that. Thank you very much, Mike.
Not at all.
Appreciated.
Sorry, Colin, I interrupted.
No problem.
Any other questions? I've got one pretty similar following on from that, really, rather than a question. It's those links in. So I work in HR, and I have really good links in with employment law solicitors. And I wonder whether it'd be really good for you to do something similar with family solicitors if you don't already do that, because I think that specialism around divorce and separation is really helpful and important for people going through that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do at the moment, like build connections up with family law solicitors.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,